Brainstorming is a great way to generate ideas for writing, but moving from this step to writing the first draft can be difficult. There are some strategies you can try to get the most out of your brainstorming. Whether you're free writing nonstop for 5 or 10 minutes, creating a mind map or a cluster map of everything you know, comparing and contrasting using a Venn diagram or other comparing tools, listing ideas, or questioning what you know and don't know about the topic, using your brainstorm as a jumping off point for your first draft is effective and helpful. This video will focus on brainstorming in the forms of free writing and mind mapping. A first important step is narrowing your brainstorm down by considering which information or ideas from the brainstorm you feel confident in already, and which ideas and information you still need to conduct more research in or consult other sources to learn more about. Once you've discovered which ideas need more looking into, breaking up these ideas into categories will help you identify which part of your essay they can be useful for. Does it sound like an argument or claim you're making? Mark it as a potential thesis statement. Are they examples from a text on the topic or real-life scenarios? Mark it as potential supporting evidence. Do the ideas point to an overarching message or significance from your primary texts? Mark them as themes or the bigger picture. This categorization of your ideas will help you to begin organizing what you want to say in your essay. Let's look at an example of a student writer's brainstorming and categorizing. Here, this student writer has decided to free write in order to get some of their ideas about the topic down on paper. Free writing is where one writes for a certain amount of time without stopping, until the time is up. The goal is to write down any thought in response to the topic, which in this student's case is writing about a significant challenge they've overcome in school and the effect it's had on their growth. This student wrote about their struggles in a high school math class. After writing about this challenge, the student used color coding and annotation to categorize their free write. They've identified a possible claim or thesis in response to the prompt in yellow, context or background information in gray, examples that help show their ideas in blue, and possible topic sentences for their body paragraphs in green. The student also leaves a note with new topic sentence ? Because maybe they don't feel as confident yet with this particular topic. But by leaving the note, they know to return to this idea to continue developing and refining their thoughts about it. Lastly, the student writes some reflective discussion of their experiences in pink, which can be useful for some larger significance in relation to the prompt. By categorizing their free write using color coding and annotation, the student is now more prepared to begin organizing their information with tools like outlining or numbering. Another great way to generate ideas through brainstorming is with a strategy called mind mapping. When mind mapping, a writer begins with a specific topic and then branches out with related ideas and thoughts that respond to the topic. Mind mapping is great for writers who are more visual because they can see the ideas as shapes instead of writing them line by line. Mind mapping allows us to think about how our ideas are related to one another by linking them together, and less by a certain order. In this example, the student has responded to the same prompt about a challenge they've overcome in school. The student writer began with their initial response, struggling in their Algebra 2 class in high school, and continued to branch out with related thoughts and responses. Once the student writer finished their mind map, they used color coding to show which of their ideas they felt went together. They also wrote a title for each group of ideas based on how they felt it connected to their answer for the prompt. By doing this exercise, the student writer will have a clearer focus when either creating an outline or a first draft of the assignment. While a writer can organize their ideas in whatever way makes the most sense, whether that means numbering their ideas in what feels like the most logical movement from one idea to the next, or by creating an outline that provides a visual for each paragraph in the essay, Using some type of tool to organize before drafting can be extremely useful for those who need more structure. If you choose to outline, you can follow any format you prefer. Just remember to consider the essential components of each paragraph you're writing. If you're writing a traditional 5-paragraph essay, this format on the left, with an introduction, thesis, body, and conclusion, may serve as really useful. If you're writing under a specific discipline, like biology, child development, or political science, be sure to be mindful of what the respective components will look like and place your information accordingly. Once your outline is finished, writing your first draft should go more smoothly, because you'll have a reference to consult and a clear and set agenda in mind if you do feel stuck at any point. Remember, your outline is a tool. It is not set in stone, so you should feel free to revise and add new information and ideas as you feel it is necessary. Lastly, once your first draft is finished, asking for feedback and review is a smart and resourceful way to find out which steps you should take next in your writing process. Your classmates, your school's writing center, and your professor are great options for feedback on your writing. Remember, too, that you can and should ask for feedback or guidance whenever you need it, even if your draft isn't complete or you don't yet have anything written, because this will help you refine and develop your ideas. We hope this information was useful for you in moving from brainstorming to drafting in your writing. Remember to always utilize your resources, including the Writing Center, and we hope you feel more confident in moving forward in your writing.